All right, guys. So we're going to start doing a walkthrough. Now, these walkthroughs, these are to help show you guys the structure, how to do the structure, how we can do the design, how we can do the layouts, how we can do all of the stuff that we need to learn in this class for making your guys' website, okay? Now, this could be used as a good starting block for you that you guys can customize the code and have a good starting point so that your website will end up looking really good and not look like crap, okay? What I don't want, though, is I don't want you guys to just try to copy the exact same stuff and then just change content because that's going to look bad and that's going to be very noticeable and you'll get severely graded down trying to use a walkthrough as your own code, okay? So what the goal of this is, other than like helping you guys have a good starting point and having you guys see that, is that you guys get to watch the entire process of going through, pulling information from an initial brainstorm to building the structure, to building the design, doing the layouts, making it responsive, all of that good fun stuff, okay? So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to build a folder structure. Then we're going to do all the recurring elements, the navigation of the footer. Then we're going to use that example to create our other pages. And then we're going to make sure that they're linked, okay? Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go to your documents folder, and you guys are going to create a folder called walkthrough, okay? So we're just going to create a new folder, either clicking here or here. Walkthrough. Now, for all of the walkthroughs, this walkthrough we're starting from scratch, but the next walkthrough I'm going to give you code that you would need. You ingest that code, you're going to store it here in the walkthrough, you're going to do the walkthrough assignment for whatever parts we're currently learning, and then you're going to turn all those files that you have messed with back into me, okay? So everything needs to go into the walkthrough folder. Okay. So now we can go to Atom. We have that created. We want nothing open. We want to set up our project folder. Okay, so there's a couple things that you need to do for Atom. If you have not went through the videos to install Atom Beautify, you're going to want to do that. Okay, have good indentation, makes it a lot easier for us to read. Okay, so after that, come back here. And then we're setting up a project folder. So you guys are navigating to the document folder, this walkthrough, and selecting it. After you select it, it should show up over here on your left-hand side. Okay, now we have nothing in there. We need to go ahead and create our folder structure. So let's quickly go into the brainstorm document and look at it. Now, I am designing a fictitious coffee house called Pirate Coffee House, where we basically are kind of doing a branding thing. We actually have physical locations we sell online. We sell coffee and the idea of freedom. So that's why we kind of Pirate Coffee House. They are free to go in the open seas. And so we kind of are embodying that whole mentality. Now I have 4 pages that I'll kind of quickly talk about the content, and then we're going to quickly start developing. Okay, so first page that I want them to arrive at is going to be our brand, where we're talking about the brand of our coffee, like our ideas, our viewpoints, and we end up having the 2 locations. So we got one in Seattle, and we call it Seattle Coffee House. We have another one that's going to be in San Diego. So let me go ahead and just change that real quick. San Diego. There we go. All right, so we have 2 locations, and then we have footer information that ultimately is going to have to get completed for actually doing icons and all that fun stuff. Okay, our next page is we have a process page that is talking about how we select our beans, how we roast our beans, and also it's going to end up having that footer. Now we are going to end up having an employees page that's going to have all the employees on there, and it's going to have that footer. And then we have our merch page that's going to have, us selling whole bean and ground bean coffee, t-shirts, sweatshirts, a pirate lifestyle, so nautical gear. We also end up doing like sip and sail opportunities where they can actually sail on like a real looking pirate ship and be able to drink coffee. Or we end up hosting like movie nights because we don't want to just make it like it's only the morning crowd, but anybody, you know, can enjoy coffee. And so we end up doing pirate-themed movies, and, you know, they can have popcorn and just kind of hang out with like-minded individuals and also buy some of our coffee. Okay, and then at the bottom, we're going to have our footer. Okay, so these are our pages. The first page I want them to arrive at is our brand. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to build a template page using that brand one, build the head information, build the navigation, build the footer, because those are the reoccurring elements of stuff that we need to do for our assignment. And then we're going to make copies of that for all 4 pages. So we're going to be moving quick because we've already done this before. Okay, file new file. I'm going to immediately save it with Control S. And this is going to be my first page, so it needs to be index.html. Now I'm going to type HTML and tab. I need to fill out my head information, so let's go to W3 Schools, and we'll do a quick search, W3 Schools head. And let's get these elements. There's already the head, the title, there's already a meta in there. I am going to end up having to do a link for this, but we can get the rest of our meta information. So my keywords, I'm jumping back and forth with Alt Tab, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, author information, and we need the meta for our viewport. Okay, now what I said is we need the link for CSS. Ultimately, we're going to be doing an external CSS page for all of our styling, so we're going to go ahead and create that here. And I'm going to call it just style.css. Okay, so let's go ahead and save, and then I'm going to open up a new file and save this one, and this is going to be my style.css. Okay, so that's just linking to here. So I already have it where I need it. Okay, now this is my first page. I'm going to call it our brand. And we are going to have to put keywords in a description. We will do that for each page individually. Do our author information. All right, so on every page, basically we know that we are going to have, so let's minimize this. So I can add and beautify, and then I can minimize. We know that we're going to end up filling our stuff for our body. So inside the body, I know I'm going to have a header for like all my navigation stuff, my main, and a side that not every page will have, and a footer. Okay. All right, so that's everything. Now, for my main page link, that's the heading, that's going to be my H1. I'm going to put that inside the body. I'm going to call it H1, and then this is our brand. Okay, now we're going to be working in the header to build our nav structure. Okay, so let's start that off. Nav, list of links. The order doesn't matter, so unordered list, li. I'm going to space out. I like the anchor for this. This is going to be my first page, our brand. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste this. 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 pages. And actually, I want to do one more up here, and this is going to be icon placeholders. So we could design later one there. So now I have my 4 pages. On here we had our brand right up here, our process, our employees, and our merch. So let's go ahead and develop that. Our brand, our process, our employees, and our merch. I might end up later on taking off the hour on there because that's going to start sounding redundant. It depends on how it looks visually for me. I'm going to go ahead and save. And then we want to make sure that add and beautify ran. Okay, now all of these, we're going to have to change some of the links, but we're building a template right now. Okay, so header is done. Now let's look at our footer. This is going to be the next recurring piece. Let's go back to the information for my example. We have our footer. Let's go ahead and copy this. And, oops, I don't need that. Okay. Now I need to look at my heading numbers real quick. I have H1, the header. I don't have a heading number in here for header. You don't normally do. We will end up having one actually for our navigation, but we're going to write a comment and say this will be hidden. Okay. Control and slash to create that comment, or you can manually create it. And then I'm going to put in H2 because I broke down the section. If header had its own, that would be H2, this would be H3. But since I don't, the next one down is H1. I am not ever skipping. Navigation. Okay, so there we go. Let's save. So then that means that footer is supposed to be H2. That makes sense. Now I'm going to have a section for contact info. Okay, so instead of having this here, I'm actually going to end up doing a list of links for the different things. And ultimately what I want is I want to use some font awesome so we can see what it is. Font awesome, I can show you the ones we can do, like a Twitter icon, we could do a Facebook icon. Okay, this will make our page look much better. We can do Snapchat. Okay, so we're going to build those. So our line item is going to end up having a anchor, and inside the anchor we're going to end up having an address. Okay, and inside of here I'm going to first we'll do like a phone icon, and let's make sure that I'm kind of hitting this. Okay, now let's beautify real quick. Okay, so this whole thing right there is going to be one. So there's my phone, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, addresses. So let's change them. Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook. And for my last one, this is addresses. I'm actually going to change this a little bit. Okay, so instead of doing this, I'm doing physical locations. I'm going to break down the subject into a smaller one. So we previously used H3 for section, and since this is a direct, the next one that we would go down, because we didn't do anything, this would be H4. H4, I'm going to say locations, and then I'm going to use an unordered list because I'm doing a list inside of a list for my two locations. So this first location, I'm going to break this down again. So this is H5, and this is going to be Seattle Coffee House. And then I'm using the address element. So there's one paragraph, 261 Sandy Drive, and another paragraph element because it's the smallest piece of text. And this would be Seattle, Washington, 23987. Okay, that's a good structure for those. Let's go ahead and add and beautify. There we go. I need to do this for my next location, and then this one's going to be San Diego Coffee House, 315 Ocean View, San Diego, California, 49203. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Now if we open up this in the browser, we navigate to it. That's what it looks like. Okay, so now what we need to do in the next video is to finish the copyright information and to start customizing this whole page, and then we copy it over for all of the stuff.